Well, if there's one thing that is for sure, there is no love lost between these two teams. They definitely do not like each other. Brazil versus Colombia. 2 red cards given after the final whistle, and revenge is sweet for Colombia. A 1-0 win, which revives their hopes in the Copa America and puts Brazil's hopes a little bit in doubt. The single goal came from centre-back Jason Murillo, scored the winner in the 36th minute, and it has to be said it was deserved. Brazil came out, they looked a little bit shaky. I hate to say this, because I don't believe that one player can be so far ahead of his team, but watching the first half, Neymar was 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of his Brazilian teammates, and they just were not on the same level. There was one specific instance that he flicks the ball past a Colombian defender. He spirals into that speed where you think, okay, a move's going to come. Tries to get a 1-2, and the player's running opposite directions. I honestly felt that he was a step ahead, and his frustration showed he allegedly handballed it. He didn't agree, kicks the ball away even though he's on a yellow card, and the referee could have sent him off right there. But he didn't. He allowed him to kind of gain his composure and says, okay, yellow card, I understand you're frustrated, and let the game go. But Colombia's goal, let's talk about this. Falcao rolls back to when he was so strong that he could hold off anyone in the world. He shrugs off the Brazilian defender. Brazilian defender gets agitated, pushes down Falcao. It's a free kick. Cuadrado, who looked very bright from the start, whips the ball, and the ball is very dangerous, not dealt well from Brazil. It has to be said, the defensive lapses in concentration show again, and it's put into the back of the net by an unlikely person, Murillo, who wheels away. Typical Colombian style, great celebration, but it was what they deserved, because they didn't look the most attacking to start with, but they were bright, they were focused on what they had to do, and they understood that putting the ball into the box early is what would catch Brazil off guard. So they definitely reaped the rewards of what worked for them. Brazil just lacked that flair. Their counter-attacking pressure was 0 to 100 real quick, to be honest, but they just didn't have that flair that you expect from that counter-attacking football, and it's still evident that they're suffering from the same lapses in concentration, as I said, as they did in the World Cup, and it's going to come back and bite them in the ass, I have to say that. So the second half came around, and it's that Manchester United who are trying to sign target Roberto Firmino, who missed an absolute sitter from about 3 or 4 yards. It looked harder to miss than it was to score, and he misses one, and then he follows it up a little bit later. It wasn't as bad of a miss, but it just kind of summed up Brazil's day overall. They had the chances there, they created the movement, they still kept the ball well, but they just didn't have that killer instinct. And you expect Neymar, I think he was a little bit frustrated in himself that he did not influence the game more. But to be fair to him through the game, you can only do so much. He can't create. He usually does, but he just couldn't create and finish his own chances. And of course, you think about it, there's got to be that level of frustration from what happened the last time these two teams met. He broke his vertebrae. He broke his back after the game against Colombia. So you have to think, does that come into play here? Was he frustrated that Colombian player robbed him from his chance to take Brazil to the World Cup final? Maybe, and we're going to touch on that at the very end. After Colombia claimed their win, they wheeled away in celebration. Neymar was not happy, and it seemed that he came to heads with one of the Colombian players, and he seemed to push his head towards him, and it has to be said, that's a red card. I don't care if there was contact made, there was intent there. You expect more from Neymar, the captain of Brazil, and he got a red card for that. But what Bacca did, he nearly broke the poor kid's back. I think he nearly gave him whiplash. He comes flying from the back. No need to get involved like that. All he has to do is come between him. Neymar's done his damage. Bacca, for me, is even more immature in this situation. He reacts. Yes, you want to defend your teammates, but his teammate was fine. It's not as if a flick from Neymar's hair is going to knock him down. He shoves him. Neymar goes flying, to be fair. And Bacca gets sent off as well. And that's just stupid from him, because Neymar's made the rash decision. Now you have to use your maturity and just step back and allow him to take the repercussions, because now both of them get a red card and both of them are going to suffer suspensions going into the next game. Vital games, to be said. But we want to know what you guys think. Was both players deserved to get sent off? Did Colombia deserve this win? What did you think about the game as a whole? Leave your comments in the section below. As always, we'll be recapping more from the Copa America, and stay tuned to TYT Sports.